listening to the Mothership Connection, your cosmic link to the other side.
Do not attempt to adjust your computer. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. The Mothership flies through cyberspace yet again. My name is Dobie Maxwell, also known as the King of Uranus. To your right, to my left, our Millennial Falcon, Kerry Turner, is here. To my left, to your right, I have no idea. It looks like Greg DeGuire. It might be a clone.
We gotta squint.
We are coming in our third episode. We've been ramping up to this for a long time. Special episode on the Mothership tonight. Greg DeGuire got his DNA tested. We have no idea what planet he is from. The results are in. Let's go to Greg.
All right, so...
Are you really you? Yes, you're... Okay,
yes,
you're a three-dimensional being.
I promise.
Okay.
Silly me, I was expecting a packet of papers, like old school, like they were going to send me a file. No, it was pages upon pages upon pages of data through the email, of which it starts off, so you can check your ancestry.
Let's go back to how did you do this? How did you get started? Let's bring everybody up to speed.
Dad sent me a Christmas gift to 23andMe, so you spittle in a vial and send it to this company, and they will.
And it's like this much too.
It's a lot. I was gonna do it on air.
It's that color too.
Is that color? This is my drug test, by the way. My horse has diabetes.
Once I saw the amount of spittle that needed to be done, I didn't want to do that on air because it was kind of gross.
It was pretty gross.
It was pretty gross. So I sent that in, and 6 to 8 weeks later, they emailed me the results of the composition of my DNA. So it's going to tell me where I'm really from, who I share it with. They can break it down to haplogroups. I mean, they have it broken down. My specific DNA, they can break it down all the way back to Africa, and they have a family tree all through it. So because I answered so many questions, they were able to piece my puzzle together fairly easily based off of the side questions that I answered. And not everybody answered those questions, but those of you who have done this and were bold enough to answer 80% of the questionnaire, much better. It's easier this way. They have a lot more answers for you.
What if you don't know?
If you don't know, you don't know. You can't be faulted for what you don't know.
They can still figure out your ancestry.
They can still figure out your ancestry, but it helps if you know your great grandparents' names, your mother's maiden names, your dad's names, and his mom's maiden names. If you know all of that, or at least a portion of, it could simplify this whole process. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I just want to make a mention that as we're filming today, it's raining outside, and we are in an active basement, so you might hear water from the sump pump. That's life.
Actually, I have a catheter in. So dribbling noise there.
So now I finally have the test results, and I've only told a handful of people what I found, and I didn't think it was really that.
We only have a handful of listeners.
We only have a handful of listeners,
so now we have two handfuls of people.
I like two. Never mind.
All right.
Anyways, it's nothing really surprising, and I don't know what I was expecting, but.
Show's over.
Yeah, bye. Show's over. Good night, everybody.
So, yeah, some results.
But it does bring up a couple interesting things, and let me get down to it. So I'm on. This is through my email, so bear with me. I'm reading off a tablet here. My ancestry composition: 34.4% French and German. So.
French and German.
French and German. So it's got everything broken down.
And you thought you were too.
I was pretty sure. So, of my 100%, I am 99.9% European. By the way, that's nationality everybody is when they go to the bathroom, European. 34.4% French and German and Netherlands. 23.6% British and Irish. 7.1% Scandinavian. 0.5% Ashkenazi Jewish. I don't know what that first word is. 0.3% Italian. 0.3% Eastern European. 0.1% Sardinian. Don't sardines go on pieces?
I was going to say, you're a fish.
I'm a fish. 28.6% broadly Northwestern European, 1.5% broadly Southern European, 3.5% broadly European, 0.1% East Asian and Native American, 0.1% broadly East Asian. It has my timeline broken down. Charts and graphs, the information that they give you is, I don't want to say it's unending, but it's a lot. So it starts off in the 40s as the most recent timeline for says, how many generations ago was your most recent ancestor for each population? So the 1700s was Sardinian, 1730s Italian, 1760 Ashkenazi. Am I saying that right? Ashkenazi Jewish. 1760 Eastern European, 1790s Scandinavian, 1850s British and Irish, 1910 to 1940 French and German, and then my dad's done some stuff on Ancestry.com, and we can pick it up from there. So that is my ancestry timeline. Then it says there's all kind of charts and graphs and stuff. How much of each ancestry did you inherit from your parents? And my dad's going to do this test now that I told him all the cool stuff that I found. So it should be easier to come back and figure more out with him. Okay, so then I can get into the scientific details, how they determine ancestral breakdown, how they determine your recent ancestor locations. It's just very interesting. So results for all 151 tested populations. Again, same 34.4% French and German. It's just an unending amount of data, and that's just one thing. So let's see, back to ancestry reports. And bear with me in mind, I'm using technology, which ought to be scary for everybody involved. So my maternal haplogroup is group V7. So you descend from a long line of women that can be traced back to Eastern Africa over 150,000 years ago. These are the women of your maternal line, and your maternal haplogroup sheds light on their story. So my specific maternal haplogroup is V7. So as our ancestors ventured out of Eastern Africa, they branched off in diverse groups all over the globe, starting your haplogroup. So my maternal line now is haplogroup L, and they're showing a point in the map. As you can see, just so I have witnesses, I started in Ethiopia. That's where the haplogroup originated.
All right, stop. This
Yes.
is complete and utter total bullshit.
I don't know. Okay, go on.
I don't know more than
State
the
your
computer
case.
knows. It's everybody I've ever seen that's been regressed to a past life is a former royalty member in the Queen's Court in
Well, we're
Egypt.
getting there.
Did
Yeah.
anybody shovel shit?
Yes.
Did anybody just clean up after
Yes.
the camels and the horses?
Yes, they were shit shovelers all
Okay.
throughout.
No, I haven't heard of it. You're coming from Africa. I can
Okay, but the thing
there's
is,
a woman
they
looking
can
like you
pinpoint where he
with a
is.
bone in her nose and a loincloth
But
walking
everybody-
out of Ethiopia.
everybody, there's only a specific amount of haplogroups, and they all originate in the same place. It's human evolution, which raises many questions. What if you don't believe in evolution? Then what? Do you throw this out, or do you not even take the test to find out?
Because it's the Christian-based one, right? That's 23andMe?
Yes. So it's bold for a Christian-based company to suggest that there has been human evolution. That's a bold step, isn't
But
it?
don't Christians believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old?
Yes, and
If
no
you're
order.
150,000 years, you're tap dancing.
Clearly, they're going against their own
King Tut's
doctrine.
grandma.
Yep. The dinosaurs were known as Jesus horses. Yes, I understand that.
Jesus horse.
Jesus horses.
That's a good
It's a
band
joke.
name. Wait.
It's a joke. I'll write it down. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm back in the...
So,
Just said that you're going a little bit out there for my taste, but what do I know?
I know.
Nothing. That's
Well,
why
I
you're-
didn't. Okay.
Keep going.
All right. All right. So, anywho, my maternal haplogroup V7 traces back to a woman who lived approximately 8,000 years ago. That's nearly 320 generations ago. So what happened between then and now as researchers and citizens discover more about haplogroups, more details? Every time someone submits DNA, every time science finds a new piece of this puzzle, they'll give it to you and they add it to your puzzle piece so you have more information as far as who, what, where, why. They'll give that to you. So today I share a haplogroup with all the maternal descendants of the common ancestor V7, including other 23andMe customers. Now, I share a haplogroup with Benjamin Franklin. So,
Uncle Benny.
Uncle Benny. So let's see. I'm gonna go to the references. Founding father. Okay, so the thing is, inventor, founding father of the United States, belonged to haplogroup V among his many political and technological accomplishments. He's known for his thing. Okay, so haplogroup. What that could mean is, it's possible we have shared DNA from an ancestor beyond Benjamin Franklin. Either way, he's part of my timeline. It could also suggest that I share DNA with his ancestors. It could also mean that I share DNA with his offspring. He was in France, and wasn't he an ambassador to France? Right? So it's possible. They're not stating you are or this is. They're very clever with their wording. They're just saying is, here it is. You do with it what you want to. Do nothing with it. Scoff at it, whichever.
Right.
Exactly.
Where would you go from there to figure out if you were, like, directly descended from him, though? If you wanted to do that?
Yes, exactly.
I would have to get heavy into genealogy. And my dad is doing that. Dad's been doing that for a really, really long time. He finally went on Ancestry.com. And he hasn't gotten that far back. Because, again, once you start poking at that line, a lot of fruit falls from the tree, right? So you don't know what you're going to find. Have we found missing cousins that we didn't know we had? Yes. Have we found out specific family lines that we didn't know we had? Yes. So what does that mean? Family's bigger than we thought. Mm-hmm. Big whoop. So far there's been nobody famous. Clearly his evidence hasn't led us back to Benjamin Franklin, and Ancestry.com hasn't led us back to him either. Mm-hmm. So again, do with this what you think it means until you have proof otherwise.
How about Aretha Franklin?
Maybe. Okay. So this is all, it's giving me all these different timelines of my specific DNA traits from 150,000 years ago to today.
Can I ask you a dumb question before you start?
Shoot.
Can this be useful medically?
I'm going to find a way to start printing all this stuff, and I'm going to surrender it to my doctor. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, it does have some interesting medical
it has all the things that you could possibly contract,
right? It has everything on here.
Uh-huh.
Everything.
Leprosy.
Okay, so...
They do have stuff like that on there, though. It'll tell you, like, how prone you are to weight gaining and everything.
Trust me, it's all in here. So... Staying on the ancestry part of this is now my paternal haplogroup. Mm-hmm. My paternal haplogroup is R-L2, RL2D2, I guess. If you're a geneticist watching this, you're going to know more about these letters.
And I'm sure we have many geneticists watching us.
So thank you, geneticists, for watching the show.
So, 83.
Along with the brain surgeons and wrestling fans.
Yes. So, it's going back to my haplogroup A, which again goes back to Eastern Africa. And it shows the migration routes and everything else along with it. Mm-hmm. So my paternal haplogroup traces back to a man who lived less than 8,000 years ago. Again, 320 generations ago, all that sort of thing. Now, it says here, I share a paternal line ester with Niall of the 9 hostages. Everybody know who that is?
Oh, yeah. Just got a postcard from him last week.
Didn't know that either. It says here... The spread of haplogroup R-M269 in Northern Ireland and Scotland was likely aided by men like Niall of the 9 hostages. It says here, perhaps more myth than man, Niall of the 9 hostages is said to have been king of Tara in northwestern Ireland in the late 4th century CE. His name comes from a tale of 9 hostages that he held from the regions he ruled. Yes! Holding everybody hostages and calling myself one of 5.
This is irrelevant.
It says here, a paternal ancestral line. Make it a relative? I guess to the finite point, yes. Can I go to Ireland and reclaim the throne? No.
You can try.
I can try, but I'll get killed by soccer hooligans. I see you. So, and then it goes into the chromosomes of the paternal haplogroups. Again, it's all here.
I love graphs and data like that, though. That's why I really want to do this.
Now, along with that, I am Neanderthal, as which most humans would be. Contradictory to, I would think, Christian doctrine.
Yeah.
So it says here I have 265 Neanderthal variants. But it also means that I have fewer Neanderthal variants than 66% of 23andMe customers. However, your Neanderthal ancestry accounts for less than 4% of your overall DNA. So do with that as you will. Now it says here it's got traits that are influenced from Neanderthal variants. I have straight hair. I'm less likely to sneeze after eating dark chocolate. How they know Neanderthals did that, I'll never know.
Neanderthals like dark chocolate?
I don't know.
You got chocolate in my peanut butter. Reese's peanut butter cups invented 150,000 years ago.
I don't have my EpiPen on me.
Less back hair. I'm the height of a small Neanderthal. Thanks, 23andMe. I get them short, assholes.
Yeah, bald back.
I don't know, what a bunch of dicks. Anyway, so it traces Neanderthals all the way back. Again, Carrie, you can, the charts and graphs. This is just
that's amazing.
Out of control. It's out of control. The charts and the graphs and everything else. Okay, so where else?
But I bet you spent like hours just looking through all this.
I'm not done looking through it all, and I've had the results for a couple days. All right, now it's going to calculate.
What does any of this mean to your everyday life today?
We're going to get to that. By God, I'm glad you asked that question because we are going to.
I'm about ready to nod out.
We're going to get to that point.
I was looking forward to this episode, but you're not ready.
I will trade seats with you. I will.
I think this is pretty interesting stuff. All right, so according to my DNA family, I have 1,028 DNA relatives in the 23andMe family. So apparently, thank you, 1,028 viewers.
They're going to be watching.
3 close family to second cousins, 735 third to fourth cousins, and many fifth to distant cousins. Many. So.
Would that be true for everybody?
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes,
everybody's related.
Are we all related to each other? Exactly.
At some point in time, you're going to figure this. This is going to solve pieces of that puzzle. So, and it breaks down where.
One?
Yeah, they have a graph of the United States of America.
Yes, we're looking at the map of the U.S. where my relatives live.
Water in Illinois.
Unfortunately, yes. Sorry, Melanesians.
Those are the Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Yes, commonly known as Bears fans. Oh, shots fired. Sorry, I'm joking. I'm kidding. So it says here that of the 23andMe users that I share, of the 1,000 of you, I have 50 Ashkenazi Jewish relatives. Mazel tov, I'll say. Did I say that right? Mazel tov. Okay. It also says here that compared to the average 23andMe customer, your DNA relatives are 48% less likely to drink instant coffee, 39% less likely to drink espresso, 34% less likely to have 2 differently sized feet, 34% less likely to make New Year's resolutions, 31% more likely to own a dog. How do they know that? Based off the answers that I gave and based off of my DNA, they can extrapolate all this information based on specific points of my DNA as far as traits, height, weight, all that stuff.
Likes and dislikes.
They've got it all right here. I'm saying, if anyone out there does this, I plead with you, answer all the questions. Some of these questions circle around. They're asking the same thing twice, but give it a go. Answer as many as possible. Even if an unfairly amount of questions ask you about Jewish heritage. Not that being Jewish is unfair, but they ask a lot of Jewish heritage questions, which I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get back into that in a minute. So, let's see. So I'm going to quick get into the health reports.
This one. This one's fun to listen to.
Yeah, we're going to get into the health reports, and then we'll get into the hows, whys, and weather forecasts. So I'm waiting for the tablet to get in. Okay. So, my genetic health risk is in it lists a low tonnage of diseases, of which I have variants not detected in all but one. So Parkinson's, it's not on my map. Late onset Alzheimer's, not on my map. Alpha 1's not there. I can't even announce, I don't know how to enunciate some of these words. Hereditary thrombophilia. That was an instrument? That's an instrument. It's an instrument or a pasta, I don't know which. So the only one that I have a variant detected is age-related macular degeneration. Isn't that an eye?
That's
an eye thing.
Yes, eye thing.
So it's showing in my DNA that I have a defective thing that makes me a possibility.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, I can see that one plainly. Again, they're very careful with their wording. They're not saying I'm going to get this. They're just saying.
Have you ever had eye troubles?
Well, as I get older, yes, I'm finding myself probably needing glasses at some point in time. But that is age, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm getting older. I mean,
I always needed glasses my whole life, though. I don't know.
So it says here, my alcohol flush reaction. I'm unlikely to flush when drinking alcohol. That's a lie. I'm less likely to consume less caffeine. Less likely to. So they could have worded this better.
So you drink more caffeine.
I used to. I've really cut it back, but I kind of knew that. I'm less likely to be a deep sleeper. I'm predisposed to weigh more than average. What a bunch of dicks genetic is. That's a thanks for that, I guess. This one I didn't know what this one meant. Okay, your genetic muscle composition is uncommon in elite power athletes. I don't know what that means. So if you're more athletic than usual, you have a genetic variant which leads you to muscle composition. I'm reading in gibberish now. That's interesting. I didn't look at that one before. Anywho,
What's it
again,
say?
well, it doesn't say anything. It just says, by the way, here's something you have in your.
It is very vague.
It's pretty vague because they can't
happen.
because they can't
It's
tell
like
you
horoscopes.
because they don't know. Yeah, they don't really know.
You have a propensity
Yeah.
for the unusual.
But from the sounds of it, this is more true than Ancestry.com.
I
Or at
mean,
least more info.
They're not wrong, but they're not 100% right, which gives it a pretty good guess. And again, how do they know these? Based on what's in my DNA and the endless amount of questions that I answered, this is what they're throwing at me, right?
For you bilingual viewers, El Toro Poo Poo.
And maybe. So it says, as far as sleep movement, I'm likely average or less movement. So I toss and turn in my sleep sometimes, yes.
That's genetic.
Apparently. So all these variants, there's carrier statuses for all these things, and I don't have variant not detected. What's air sacs? Other than the joke, anyone know what that is? Anyone know what air sacs
no
disease?
clue.
Anyone hear this? Nobody.
I think they opened at Lollapalooza.
I think they did too. Yeah, the air sacs open up for
Still
Bon
need
Jovi, I think. Yeah.
Jesus dinosaur, or what was it? Jesus horses on there.
Yeah. So agnesis of the corpus callosum with peripheral neuropathy. I can't say that again. Variant not detected. I don't know what that means. So now here's the thing: recessive polycystic kidney disease. It says variant not detected. Although I have a lot of interesting. I'm gonna come back to that. I don't know how to get out of here.
So how much did all this
I'm gonna
cost
go
you?
back this way. Didn't cost me a thing. This is a gift from Dad. Thank you, Dad.
Okay.
So blood syndrome, no
You wanted to
variant.
make sure that you were his.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I could have said otherwise. I mean, that's why they warn people: be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You might actually get the answers to some questions that you maybe didn't want to ask. So all these,
Mailman and you match up perfectly.
yeah, all these diseases and all kind of stuff. I don't have a variant detected, but here's gives me traits. Asparagus odor detection. Likely I can smell asparagus. How did it know that? I don't know, but yes, I can smell asparagus. Is anyone here? We've got a few studio audience. Anyone here not smell asparagus?
Can you not? Is there people?
I'm just
that
asking.
can't?
Can you smell it or not smell it?
I don't know. I don't like
Max
asparagus,
says he
so I've just
can.
never gone near it.
I can't smell it.
Really?
Ring a ding. We got 1 out of 6.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a thing.
That you can't smell it.
That's weird.
It says I likely have little upper back hair.
I'll have to test that.
It says bitter taste. Likely I can't taste bitterness. I'm going to call that a lie. I can't stand raw lemons. Likely no cheek dimples. Likely no cleft chin. Likely detached earlobes. Early hair loss. Likely, thanks genetics, assholes. I have likely wet earwax. I have likely blue or green eyes. Shazam, we got that right. Likely ring finger longer. No, this finger's longer. I don't know how to tell that one. Likely have no freckling. Likely straight hair. Likely light hair. Very likely baby hair. I don't think I have that
Mr.
anymore.
Likely.
Yes.
Have you ever met anybody that has a ring finger longer than them? I've never met anybody like that. You
No.
Anybody?
His
Anybody?
second toe, though, is bigger than his
Yeah, we're
big
not on
toe.
toes yet. Easy,
Oh.
easy. We're not the toes yet.
Yeah, like,
I didn't know that was
out like that.
I'm
One
just
of
saying.
the toes out of the bag,
It
yeah.
freaks me out.
So, all right, we have one
Corn
freaky
kernels.
toe-ish in the. Thanks, freaky toe. It's his new nickname. I'm not letting that go.
Freaky toe.
Freaky toe.
Put that on the list, too.
Freaky toe.
Hold on,
one.
let me.
Jesus
Freaky-
horse
Jesus
and
horses.
freaky
Freaky
toe.
Coming to the Palladium next Saturday night.
Lollapalooza.
Lollapalooza.
Freaky
toe.
toe.
Riviana
I like it.
Festival.
Showing up in the band's cars, the tow truck.
Odorless asparagus.
All right, so it says I have a PHOTIC. Photic? Anybody? Photic?
Bodic?
Yeah, photic. Sneeze reflex.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I think it means you're sensitive to light. Like light makes you sneeze.
That's clever.
I sneeze with
It,
pain.
but it does sometimes.
Allergic to light.
Like if you look at a bright light, does it make you want to sneeze or like the
Wait,
sun?
here we go. Okay, sweet versus salty. Likely prefers salty. Boy, they are wrong. Sweet teeth. Here it comes. Toe length ratio. Likely second toe longer. Not quite sure on that
That's
one, but I'm
him.
gonna hold on. I'm gonna put
What about
that
your
one up.
seventh toe?
Hold it. Here
Pretty
comes.
average.
Here it comes. All right, footprints left behind with some of our early human ancestors, including Australopithecus africanus, Australopithecus arfensis. Arfensis?
It's my
Wow.
neighbor.
Yes, that's Bigfoot's sister, Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Show a longer second toe. It says the combination of your genetics and other factors makes you more likely to have a longer second toe. Of 23andMe research participants with results like yours, 53% have a longer second toe. 47% have a longer big toe. Ha!
Hey,
There you
does
there you have
anybody
it.
else here have a longer second toe?
Call me out. No, you're in the
Anybody
minority.
else? I'm asking.
Yeah, I think mine is.
Really?
Only on one foot, though.
What?
My pinky is the biggest. That's weird. I can take corners really well.
Turn on a dime.
Freaking nature.
You can
I got a web
flex your
toe. Makes it flex the pinky. Pinky toe. It's got a bicep in it.
His pinky's got 2 joints in it.
Alright, so I guess
Sorry, don't mean to mock
it's
your
all right.
soliloquy about your own genetics here. Then.
and it goes into the science of all this. It shows me all the matching segments, all these type of algorithms in between, all this other kind of stuff.
Your toe.
Yes, it starts with my toes. So, I mean,
Tomosomes.
tomosomes, I like it. X and Y tomosomes. So that's a big gist of what I got with all these answers.
Are you satisfied with what you got?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. So there's another interesting part to all this. And while I'm backing this out of here, it came... So through these different groups of questions or bits of information, you can click want to know more. So it'll share this with other 23andMe users. So if I have a cousin in California who did this test, somehow it's going to link the two of us together. So we'll be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together as far as how they got to California, who we're related to, all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
I think it's at the very least, I think it's very interesting. But I did find another interesting part, and it's another part of the email. They sent another thing as far as relatives in the 23andMe family tree. I have over 1,028 relatives, and they go as far back as second cousins to sixth cousins once removed. They get pretty detailed with what they think it is. I'm going to pull one of these up now because it's an ongoing issue as far as whom I related to, and not necessarily having to do with anybody famous, because I highly doubt that, other than Uncle Ben Franklin. Be that as it may,
John Wayne Gacy. Maybe.
John Wayne Gacy, maybe, with the same height, I think. So be that as it may, I don't want to go too deeply into who I might be related to, because I don't want to say, oh yeah, this says this person's my cousin, and this person watches the show and decides to sue me for what? I don't know. I'm just...
Bill Cosby.
Right. One of Bill Cosby's... I didn't buy drugs from Bill Cosby. I'm sorry, that wasn't it. Now, didn't they catch a killer off this? Didn't
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, somehow or another, somebody's DNA tested, found out that they're related to somebody, and that's somebody's name. Like, hey, I know that somebody. Turns out they were on the FBI most wanted list for kidnapping, rape, murder, all the above. So that's how somebody got caught, is from submitting DNA results to 23andMe.
Smart.
I think that's interesting. Okay.
Has this ever come up yet at our discussion? Do you think the government is doing this to get you in their cradle
We've
of...
talked about this. I think we've already established that they can have whatever they want from us at any given point.
But now
They
you just
see what we're doing.
You just spittled into a cup and gave it to
They
them.
got everything.
They don't have to work for
They know if I like coffee or not.
They do, which is creepy. Isn't
You
that a
have
little
detached
creepy?
earlobes or not. You keep your hair over and we'll never know.
Right?
All right, so here's the thing. Again, a lot of the questions came down to if you have Jewish heritage.
Yeah, why is that?
Okay, well, according to our source, who happens to be in the audience, they're looking for the holy bloodline. Right, so...
Well, they're not going to find it at this table.
They're not finding it with me. But again, it depends on what you believe and what you want to believe. Because what you want to believe doesn't always make it true. So the thing is, all right, we've talked about this particular tangent before. If Jesus didn't die on the cross, which is a possibility he didn't, I'd say if he existed at all, depending on your religious background. But what if he didn't die on the cross? What if the whole thing? What if his death was fake to shut everybody up? What if he didn't die? What if he, or if he did die? I guess the part of the story doesn't matter. But if he didn't die, it's possible that he sent Mary Magdalene, his potential wife, with their unborn child, to a boat to the south of France, and then that family married into the line of Merovingian kings and became holy bloodline. It's a big jump. It's a big leap. Maybe it didn't happen. It's a pretty sexy story, though. But potentially Jesus died on the Masada hilltop defending his people, which a lot of people think he did die. Have everyone heard that story? Ever heard that one?
I have not heard that
I heard it through you. We did that.
We did this before.
Episode.
Okay, so the thing is, they're looking for a holy bloodline so they can trace it all back to, well, not necessarily Jerusalem, but the Bethlehem, Jerusalem. They want to trace it all back there. So why? As my source says, that's prophecy. They're bringing everybody back in. But why? Why exactly? I need to know why. Shout out the answer. Why? We won't say who it is. But I don't exactly know why. They're bringing everybody back for the purpose of
It's prophecy
prophecy.
that the Jews will, because they were dispersed, that the Lord will, it's a prophecy that he will bring them all back to Israel.
For
a surprise birthday
surprise
party for Yasser Arafat.
It is the 70th year of Israel's unification. And there's more people that immigrated to Israel this year than ever before.
And it's interesting that so many more and more people are using 23andMe, that it's approaching that anniversary date, that they're kind of combing the ranks to find out who's who, where, and what's what. So to get back to your question, what would the government do with this information? So I've mentioned this before. So now they want to know what I'm made of. Got it now. Mm-hmm. They want to know, thanks to apps on your phone, where you live. Thank you, Zillow. I'm picking on them. They want to know how much money you make. Thanks, creditkarma.com. I'm picking on you, too. But to what end? So now they know how much I make. Now they know where I live. Now they know what I'm made out of. Weaponize it. Go. What would you do with that? If you had this information at your disposal, Carrie, if you were the perpetrator of all this, and people surrendered information to you freely with all this, what would you do? Nothing? You wouldn't do anything with this information?
Sell
you can. There we go. Now we're talking money.
I just
Sell
don't
it
know
to
who. Yeah.
Right.
I'd sell it door to door.
Yeah.
I mean, is all this?
Get your
Hi,
DNA,
would
Kevin,
you like
the
to buy
trench
some
coat.
DNA? I know a couple
Is
of
it as simple as selling all this information to Facebook so you can get better ads on your Facebook timeline?
I think it's bigger than that.
Well, it's gotta be, because that doesn't sound right. But bigger than that for what? Doby. Shoot.
I would sell it to the aliens.
Okay.
They could come and see which ones to abduct to breed into slaves on another planet.
Well, now that may sound comical, but maybe it's not too far from the truth, because the Germans tested this. They did all kind of genetics research to come up with Das Überman, Superman, the prized possession for
The
human.
perfect person.
Exactly, the perfect person. So what if Dobie's onto something? What if they know the aliens are coming? What if they're trying to weed out the ones that would be more susceptible? Don't laugh. What if they're trying to weed out the ones that are more susceptible for colonization, and those of us who aren't? Adios. There's the pit.
Right.
Dilly dilly. We'll see you in the pit.
You have a longer second toe. Get out.
It's like let me see your toe. It's like a human car lot.
Those of you who have a vestigial tail, you're first in line because that's what they have already.
Well, the people with the certain genetic qualities are like the Yugos and the Gremlins. They're put over in a certain one, and then the Cadillacs and the Porsches get taken to Uranus or wherever they're going.
I drive a Porsche on Uranus. That's a very good point.
Wasn't it just told this week that Uranus does have a funky smell to it?
It's a methane smell.
It was, yeah. It was confirmed.
Pull
I'm
my
gonna leave that
finger
one.
and smell Uranus. Yeah, it's true.
All right, so is it as simple as that? So we have what? Potential Facebook ads to use this information, potential colonization, potential breeding to come up with still yet a perfect human.
That's what I think.
So what else? I mean, those are. I don't want to say they're flimsy, but doesn't it seem like it's an awful lot of information still for just those? And I don't want to say that colonization is insignificant, but yes.
Gun control.
Gun control. Mystery guest has a point.
Oh.
So with my DNA and with all the medical health issues that they list, what if there was a variant in my DNA that said I was going to be crazy, or one of my kids was going to be off? And what if I wanted to buy a weapon? What if I wanted to buy a gun?
Shoot.
Oh yeah, shoot those first. But so what if your profile changes? Say years from the future, you can't buy a weapon without submitting your DNA for research. Well, I've got this already. Here's my DNA. No, looks like you have a variant here. You can't own firearms.
You are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. Here's
Even though it's not confirmed or denied, we're still
15s are in aisle 1. You got to make your choice.
Yeah. They could probably say, that the research is pending.
Yeah.
So we can't sell you.
Right.
So they won't say no, but they'll delay it.
Now, speaking of research, it was one of my greatest fears of what exactly happens to my DNA now. So now I've got the results. Now what? What are they going to do with this heap of crap? What are they going to do with my spittle? Throw it in a fountain, or someone's going to pour it over a bridge and dump it on somebody walking and say, "Gotcha." According to my mystery source, they can do anything they want to with it, such as sell it to third parties. Now, these third parties don't have to report what they're doing with it or who they're doing it for. But again, to what end? Cloning technology. Maybe there's 5 of me in a tube somewhere that I don't know about.
Little Greg's running around everywhere.
By the way, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But again, to what end are they getting all this information for? Anyone who's watching this, please leave comments.
Yeah.
I need to know what people think. First off, would you do it?
What does it do what?
I mean, would viewers, would they do it? And if a viewer out there has done it, if you're in the area, send us a message. I'd love to get you on the show.
Well,
I'd like to discuss this more.
If I can get the money to get one of these tests, and I'm actually really interested because I like seeing all the data and everything.
Oh, they break it smooth down.
I know my dad did it, but I think it was through Ancestry. I should ask him what he found, but my dad's adopted, so my last name is an adoptive last name, so I want to see where I came from his side.
See, now that's another variant. Orphans or babies who are abandoned. How would you... Say if I was adopted, right? Didn't know who my parents were, and I decided to take this test. Now, there's certain laws in place that probably I couldn't go ask the orphanage where or who. But if I found it on my own, what if I didn't like what I found? Or what if I didn't want... I mean, it poses a lot of questions. Obviously, if I didn't want to know, I wouldn't do the test. But if I wanted to know, I didn't like what I found out, then what do you do with this information? I mean, as much information they have on me, I have information now on myself. So what is it that I'm supposed to do with this stuff? Casually look at it from time to time and say, ooh, neato.
Right.
I mean, that hardly seems worth the large price tag that this costs. So what are you doing if you've done this? What are you doing with this information? Did it change your life? The commercial that I saw for this irritates me. It's an African-American lady finds out that she's 50% Zaire and buys a dashiki and a goofy hat and decides that that's her new life. I mean, I don't know. Is it going to be that drastic of a change? What if you find out you're a different religion? Or what if I always knew that I was French and German? What if I found out that I was Russian? I mean, would it have to change me that much?
Like Dobie said, what did you take out of this? Why did,
I don't think there's anything life-changing in here. Right, but I'm sure maybe I'm the typical result. Maybe somebody out there found some life-changing information. I'd like to hear about it. I'd like to know what you found. Because I think the commercial goes a little too far, that people are going to change their lives. But there's a commercial that one girl, she's dancing in an African tribe, she's swimming in a pool in Iceland because she wants to retrace her heritage and do the things that her people did. Easy, I don't want her to go to Ireland.
What if your people are idiots?
Thank you, yeah. See, DNA tells you what you are, but it doesn't tell you who you are. Yes. You are a product of your environment. So no matter where ancestors are from, I mean, that's a part of me, but not a part of me in the present.
They could look good in a dashiki. You would.
I mean, I don't know. I've got better odds of wearing a yarmulke. Did I say that right? Because I've got a percentage of that more than I have.
Lederhosen.
Yeah.
With the yarmulke.
So, yeah.
New look.
That would go great.
So, I mean, as far as what I got out of it, I think it's interesting and unique information. Is it going to change me as a person? Only to the fact that I want to learn more, right? Because I want to go back. They've emailed me updated information packets as far as information about the relatives. So I'm going to keep tugging at those strings because I want to find out how exactly they're related. I want to put some of that puzzle piece together.
A while back when we had a radio show, I had a guest on that was into the your birthday and all the things like that, and they give you a big long printout of that. And it was like a 100-page printout, and I got it. I looked at it just the other day. That's from like 4 or 5 years ago. It's pretty accurate, the same thing. So between what you're saying between the genetics, what you're talking about, and your birth, astrological thing, we're not as free as we think we are. We're basically zombies going to go, and you got this much leeway. Okay, you can pick one or two, but you're really not the unique human that we all think we are.
Right.
No, and that's kind of a bummer.
Like they also say in New York City, you're 1 in a million. Well, if there's 12 million people in New York City, there's 12 people that are just like you. Then you're not as unique.
That's a real half-empty way of looking at
That's a good one.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, we all think we're these unique cosmic creatures.
Bring down those fractions.
And basically, we're just another bottle cap in this. There's millions and billions of bottle caps. And what we're going to do, we might think that we're doing all these great, unique things. And it's like, do you think other people?
Not really.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a bummer.
You kind of bummed us out. This could be our last episode. We're going to go back into our.
He has an existential crisis after here.
Yeah.
Why?
All these billions and zillions of stars, which one stands out in the sky? And they really don't, do they?
Well, that's a bummer.
Once you spittle in a cup, you mail it off, and
he drank a spittle.
They come and tell you that you were the Pharaoh's poker partner. And do you really believe all that?
That's a good point.
No, I'm just saying. No offense. I'm not trying to be a doubter. I'm not trying to go in this to be a skeptic or a believer. And I was really happy for you when you did this, but to me, I'm disappointed with the results. I'm hoping you're happy with it. I know it was a gift, but if I had paid money for that, I would be on a train right back to that office to get a full cash refund.
Here's the thing. I kind of was expecting more.
I was too.
I was hoping there'd be more dirty details.
Yeah.
But there isn't really. It wasn't any surprises. Unless you believe I'm one of the 9 kings of some guy from
I believe
Ireland.
that from day one.
I saw your face and we just saw the resemblance.
Ben Franklin is a 6th cousin, 5th removed. I mean, anything's possible. My family lineage definitely comes from France. Does that mean that our family started from one of the offspring of Benjamin Franklin? I guess it's possible. I mean, I can't disprove it. That's not saying what it is.
Right.
But anything's possible. So, I mean, if I had unlimited time and resources, what I would do with this information, which I clearly I do, what I would do is I would start looking into deep family records of Benjamin Franklin, because I think it's interesting. And at the very least, the most I'll get out of it is a really cool history lesson. Because I was always not very good at U.S. history. So what this does, the next time I'm at Barnes & Noble, sorry, I'm not picking on Barnes & Noble, I like Barnes & Noble, and they got the cheap books section, like for $5.99 or $9. If I see a biography on Ben Franklin, I'm probably going to buy it, because now I'm just a little bit more curious to see how much of this is for real or if it's all a bunch of bullshit. Yes, horse hockey, mule muffins. I don't know for sure.
Would you recommend this test?
If you really wanted to know things, why not? I mean, if you have the money and you're not afraid to know what may or may not become of your personal DNA, go for it. And for the record, I was. We talked about this a couple times. I would never in a million years ever do this, and here I've
So
done
now everything you say from now on is totally discreditable.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
You said never,
Well,
and now
now,
you did it. You're a
with
total
that,
sellout. And
I didn't buy it. It was a gift. So I guess it's a special circumstance.
If everyone else in your family jumped in the lake, would you do this?
I mean, a few, I'd probably have a cookout after. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yes. No. Well, you're right, but still, I mean.
Would you not? Okay, as technology progresses, us older, higher end of the demographic, you youngsters don't necessarily remember a world, but I think it's being done on purpose. That everything is going through the computer, and there are no choices anymore. So now, you chose to do this. Whether it was a gift or not, you chose to go through with it.
Yeah.
I think babies in the future will all have this done through no choice.
They're
born, they'll scrape it with a swab, a Q-tip.
As everybody knows their blood type, they'll all know their DNA.
That's right.
I would agree with that.
So I think it's pretty much just going to be, we're being bred and groomed, like the Twilight Zone episode. Whether it's food, whether it's for workers, we're being bred as
microchipped,
cosmic cattle.
Now, remember, the studio audience and I discussed this a little bit beforehand, that instead of using your, like, a retina scan or a thumbprint, what if in order to buy things you had to submit a piece of DNA, so whatever you're buying something from knew all about you instantly.
Do you have change for a chromosome? Anybody?
Give you an extra one.
I mean, say I want to buy another car,
Yes.
but my DNA shows that I'm going to have this macular degenerative eye things. Well, we can't sell you a car because you may or may not have eye problems in the future, so you probably can't
Get a
drive.
prescription
So
windshield.
that's clever.
Bifocals.
I would patent that idea right now.
That would
pal.
work. It might.
Prescription eye. Wow.
No one else can drive your car.
Well, literally.
Someone else get in your car. And
Edit this out of the episode. They can't take our idea.
Oh, they can have it.
No, he's over here thinking. What?
Go ahead.
I'm stuck, man. That's a brilliant idea.
I don't have many of those, so I'm not going to lay claim to it.
No, but that opens it up to a whole wide variety of possibilities. So then I want infrared night vision, so I don't have to look at headlights. I just slap on the night vision. You don't even need headlights anymore. You can see everything coming anyways.
Well, they have the driverless cars that's coming out too. So.
Yeah.
Humans, I'm telling you, we're being bred
People
for groomed for
died
something.
through this already too.
I gotta write that down.
All the ugly ones are going to get turned into cat food from some
The goo.
to goo. Exactly. Soylent Greenish people.
That was the name of that was given to my car now. Soylent
Soylent
Green.
Prescription windshield. They're gonna be opening up at Lollapalooza next year.
So where does this go from here?
I'm stuck on prescription windshield. That's the most clever thing you have ever said.
Wow.
You've said a lot of clever things.
I try this
Just
once
like-
in a while.
That
I
was
mean, that's up there
unintentional.
in top 5 at least.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Huh.
We lost our listeners 12 minutes ago.
Right.
I never.
40 minutes ago.
We can sit and brainstorm right now.
All right, so let's tie up the
In
ends.
conclusion.
Yes. Yeah. Thought you were going
No,
somewhere.
I was leaving it over to you, passing it the baton.
All right, so in conclusion, I would say, look, if you're really curious about this sort of thing, why not? I mean, again, you know what's going to happen with your DNA. They're probably going to sell it to somebody, and you're probably going to have better ads on your Facebook page based off your DNA, although it's got to be more than that. Anyways, but if there's something you don't want to know, or you think your family's hiding something, I'm going to recommend you not do it. Because you may find something that you're not prepared to deal with. It may put you in a dark place that you can't come out from. So I keep saying it, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. But if you're really nonchalant and think you have all the answers and you can trace your cousins, then maybe you don't have to get it, because maybe your family already told you all the answers. So I leave it up to the listener. If you're curious about your family lineage and where it comes from, I'm going to call it a why not. I'm going to say why not.
I don't want to know. I'm just going on record.
There you go.
I come from the shallow end of the gene pool, scraping the barnacles off. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody.
Low-life scumbag relatives.
But the more people that do this, the more information they have. Cast aside the bad part, right? If you didn't already know that they are probably going to sell you information, they're going to use it for some dark, deadly deed, right? If this was all just for the common good, I think the more people that do this, the better, because it would solve a lot of answers as far as who you might be related to. There's cousins on here that I don't know of. I'd like to know how they became a cousin or who their relative was. So I think that's interesting information. Is it useful? I don't know what I'm going to use this for. Again, maybe I'll buy another book on Ben Franklin that I didn't already have. So I guess I'm going to give it a go.
Or Aretha Franklin.
Or Aretha Franklin. Yes. So I guess that's my answer.
Anything to add? No. Okay. How can they get a hold of us, Carrie?
We got the Mothership Connection Facebook page, and then we have the Mothership Connection friend page under Gregory DeGuire, or tinfoiltalkshow@gmail.com.
And I personally predict that there's going to be clones of Greg DeGuire. So if you see a man that looks like him,
Little Greg's.
dressed similarly, or in a dashiki, or a bone in his nose, or
Drinking
whatever,
special red Kool-Aid.
special red cosmic government Kool-Aid. You can do that. My name is Dobie Maxwell. The Mothership will fly again soon into a computer near you. Thank you for viewing. We do appreciate it. Contact us, and if you have an idea for a show, we will gladly get to it. Fly out. We're coming back soon.